Hello everyone. Welcome to our English ЗНО preparation class. I see that we already have some viewers. I will just look in the chat just for a moment. Okay. So, while we are still waiting for other viewers to join, I must say that I'm really glad that today I can meet with you here at this open lesson. Okay, I suppose everyone can hear and see me, so please let's check how well you can hear and see me. If you can hear me well and if you can see me well, please in the chat write your name. You just may write, hello, my name is, and I will see all of your answers. That would be really nice to know how many of you are here and what your names are. So in the chat, you may write your names. That would be nice to see. By the way, if I'm looking here, like in this part of the screen, that's because I'm reading your chat, your answers. So yeah, while I'm waiting for your answers, I can also tell you that at the end of this lesson, I will tell you more information about our course for ЗНО preparation, so be sure to stay to the end of the lesson. Okay, guys, so if you can hear me well, if you can see me well, please write in the chat your name. That would be really nice to get to know you, to get to know my viewers today. Okay. Okay, hello Rosik, hello Alina, hello Olympia, hello Vlad. Oh, so many of you here today. Lisa, Elvira, Kate, Nastya. Hello everyone. Dmitro, hi. So, first of all, well, while you're writing your names, you are free to do that right now. I must tell you that my name is Olga Sharamuk. I will be the teacher of this ЗНО course, and together with you, we will do a lot of important tasks. We will do a lot of useful exercises, and we will improve your English level. So please feel free to join. Okay, guys. So I think we shall start. The quality is rather okay. Yeah. So let's proceed to some activity. But before we do something serious or something about grammar, let's just think. What are we going to do today? Well, because we have to have some plan, right? So first of all, today we will get to know each other, right? Well, that's an important thing to do at the first lesson. Then we will review zero and first conditionals, do some grammar exercises, talk about ЗНО strategy for listening and use of English. Today we will talk about these two parts, and do some ЗНО tasks as well, just to practice. And at the end of the lesson, I will tell you more details about this course. So please be sure to stay to the end of the lesson, or you can watch this lesson in the recording, but I would be really glad to see you doing exercises and being active at this live stream. The lesson itself will be 60 minutes long, so let's start with some getting to know each other. So, in the chat, right where you wrote about your names, write 3 things that make you happy. So think of things that bring you positive emotions that make you feel happiness, and write them in the chat. Let's start on some positive note, and then we'll proceed to grammar and exercises for ЗНО. So I can give you an example, what brings me happiness and what makes me happy. So my example is music, spring, and sweets. So these are three things that make me happy. You're free to write your answers in the chat. I will see them. That would be very nice to know. Food, music, new clothes, Tanya wrote. Okay, very nice. All right. So yeah, don't be shy. Write your answers in the chat. Okay. Hello, Dima. Hi. Write about three things that make you happy. That would be nice to know. Food and dance. Okay, Lisa. Very nice to know. What about the third thing? Do you have some third thing that make you happy? Music, self-improvement, change in hairstyle. Wow. Very interesting, Lisa. Very interesting. Okay. Mental health. Okay, yeah. Sport, friend, music. Yeah, a lot of music fans today here, right? Yeah, I like music as well. Acrobatics, friends, and family. Yes, Katya, family is very important part of happiness, of course. Okay, all right. Food, friends, new clothes, Oksana wrote. Okay, yeah. That's really nice to know. Holidays, summer days, sport, your books, weekend, job. Okay, somebody here already has a job. Music, drawing, watching films, self-development books, family. Okay, guys, very interesting answers. Some of them very deep, very thoughtful. That's really nice. Music, computer games, and English. Okay, I'm really happy that someone is happy because of English here. Traveling around the world can make me happy. Yes, Anastasia. Yes, of course. That would make me happy as well. Meeting friends and dancing. Okay, guys, so I can see that many of you wrote about some everyday things, right? So let's look at one example that will help us proceed to the next task, and it will be connected to some things that we can say about every day. So let's look at this sentence. If it is sunny on Sunday, it will be a perfect day, right? So we can say it about, oh, basically every week. If it is sunny on Sunday, it will be a perfect day because we can go out, we can meet our friends, we can spend some time outdoors, right? So this is the example of a conditional sentence. And this will be our grammar topic today. So in the chat as well, just put a plus if you already know what a conditional sentence is. If you've heard about conditional sentences, please put a plus in the chat. So I can see how many of you are already familiar with this topic. Conditional sentences. Okay, yeah, I see that there are already people who are familiar with this topic. That's very nice. There will be some revision for you guys. All right. Okay. Yeah. So I can see that there are already people, first conditional only. So there are already people who are familiar with this topic. Just as I've said, this will be some sort of a revision for you guys. For those who are not familiar with this topic, don't worry. We will talk about all of the basic information about conditional sentences today, about two types of conditional sentences particularly. So, first of all, let's revise the most important information about conditionals. So, conditional sentences, I remind you, they are also called if sentences because they usually start with the word if. They have two parts. An if clause, we have a condition there. Yes, умова. От в цій частині у нас міститься умова, a condition. And a main clause, a result of that condition. And these clauses, these parts of the sentence, they can switch places. So we can have if clause at first, then main clause, or vice versa. We can have main clause at first and then if clause. They can switch places. And there are four types of conditionals. I remind you, we start counting with 0. So it's 0, first, the first, the second, and the third. Okay, today we will talk about two types of conditional sentences, 0 and first conditional. So let's start with the simplest one. It's 0 conditional. A very simple type of conditional. It is real. So we have to remember that the condition is real and the result is a well-known fact or a general truth. So something that all people know, something that is maybe a nature fact or maybe just a general truth for most people. And as I've said before, these conditional sentences, they consist of two parts. So we may have if clause and then followed by present simple. And in main clause, we also have present simple. So let's take a look at this example. If the weather is hot, ice cream melts. Well, I think you would agree that this is a well-known fact, right? So if in summer, for example, the weather is hot, ice cream, of course, melts. So there we used 0 conditional type of sentence. Take a look at if part, if clause. If the weather is hot. Here we have present simple, right? And then in the next part, we also have present simple. Ice cream melts. Yeah, so this melts verb is in present simple, I remind you. As we've said before, we can switch clauses. So at first we may have main clause with present simple, followed by if clause with present simple again. So with the same example, we can say ice cream melts if the weather is hot, right? So at first we put the result and then gave a condition. Now guys, I have a very important question and I hope you will answer it in the chat. Please tell me, have you noticed something about punctuation? So punctuation, I remind you, it's пунктуація, розділові знаки. What is the rules of punctuation in conditional sentences? Can you make a conclusion looking at these sentences? What are where should we use commas or shouldn't use commas? Let's think of it looking at these sentences. You may write your answers in the chat as well. I will see them. Commas, yes. So where should we use commas, or when should we use commas, and when we shouldn't? Yes, Lisa, that's correct. Tanya as well, that's correct. If we have if clause first, then we should use comma. If we have a main clause first, then we shouldn't use comma. So if clause, comma, main clause. Main clause, if clause, without comma, right? So don't forget that. Now, Zero conditional isn't very difficult, isn't it? If it's not difficult to you, like the rule of zero conditional, please put a plus in the chat. If everything is yes, Yulichka, yes, between if clause and main clause we should put comma. Yeah, so if everything is clear here for you, right, in zero conditional, please put a plus in the chat. If this type of conditional is easy to understand. Okay, yeah, so I see that you understand the rules for zero conditional. That's very nice. Yeah, so we can move on. I am happy and I am calm that I can move on, and we will talk about first type of conditional sentences as well. So first conditional. Okay, just a moment. Yeah. So first conditional, it's a bit different, right? Because for first conditional, we will probably see the result in the future if the condition is real. It is a prediction. It is always a prediction for the future. Yeah, prediction, I remind you, it's передбачення. So it's something that we predict for the future. It is not real right now in the present, right? But we assume that it probably will happen. So here we also have two parts of conditional sentence. We have if clause and we have a main clause. So in if clause, we still use present simple. But in the main clause, we should use will plus verb. We never use will after if. Yeah, in conditional sentences, we never use will after if, but we use will in the main clause. So let's take a look at the example. If it rains tomorrow, I will stay at home. Well, that's a prediction for the future, for tomorrow. Yeah, if the weather is bad, if it rains, I will stay at home. So in the first part, we have present simple, still. In the second part, we have will plus verb, will stay. And of course, we can switch places and switch the clauses and start with the result. Then we will have will plus verb and if plus present simple. And it will look like this. I will stay at home tomorrow if it rains, right? So we used will plus verb in the first part and present simple in the second part. Okay, guys. So again, put in the chat plus if everything is clear here, because next we will move to exercises for conditional sentences. So please put plus in the chat if everything is clear about first conditional. Okay, yeah, very active students today. That's very nice that I get answers so quickly. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, so we will move on to some exercises. And the first one, it won't be difficult. It won't be difficult. So let's take a look at the first exercise. In this exercise, you have to match parts of the sentences together, right? These parts of the sentences are conditionals, and we have to match them. So in the chat, you just write 1A, 2B, and so on. I will help you. I will read the first part because, well, maybe you have a smaller screen and you don't see well. Okay, so if he goes to bed late tonight, okay, what's the answer? If he goes he goes to bed late tonight. Okay, Yulia already has an answer. Okay. Okay, Vika, yes, I see. Waiting for other answers. Yes, yes, you're totally correct. So he will be tired tomorrow. Of course, if he goes to bed late tonight, he will be tired tomorrow. Is it a zero conditional or is it the first conditional? Tell me. If he goes to bed late tonight, he will be tired tomorrow. Is it the first conditional or zero conditional? First, I see. Very nice, guys. Great. Sonichka, no, it's not zero conditional. Take a look at the second part. He will be tired. He will be tired. So it's the first conditional. Okay, let's move on to the second sentence. If it is rainy tomorrow, if it is rainy tomorrow, what's the result? If it is rainy tomorrow. Okay, I already see some answers. G. Yes, G, I see. We won't go to the beach. Yes, correct. If it is rainy tomorrow, of course, we won't go to the beach because, well, like, what's the point, right? Going to the beach if it's rainy, right? Okay. Again, it's the first conditional because we make predictions for the future. Let's move on to the third sentence. Coffee tastes sweet. Coffee tastes sweet. So here we start with the result. Coffee tastes sweet. Okay. Okay, yeah. A lot of correct answers. Yes. A. If you add sugar. That's correct. And we start with the result here. And it's an example of which type of conditional? It's zero. Yes, Yulia, that's correct. It's zero conditional because it's a general truth. It's something that all people know. Okay. Yes. Yes, Sonia, that's correct. Yeah, all of you are correct here. It's a zero conditional. Okay, the fourth sentence. If my team wins the match, if my team wins the match, if my team wins the match, yeah, okay, I will be very happy. Yes, correct. F. I will be very happy. That's right. The fifth one. If the weather is sunny tomorrow, if the weather is sunny tomorrow, kind of a different version of a sentence we already had. H. Yeah, we will go to the beach. Yeah, right. If it is rainy, we won't go to the beach, but if it is sunny, we will go to the beach. Yes, correct. The sixth one. If you leave ice in the sun, if you leave ice in the sun, if you leave ice in the sun, yes, it melts. Correct. B. It melts. Thank you so much for your answers. It melts. Thank you. The seventh one. If I'm late for class, if I'm late for class, yes, Nazar, correct. This is the previous is the example of zero conditional, the previous sentence. But what about the seventh one? If I am late for class, my teacher is upset. Yeah, so my teacher is upset or very sad or angry. Yes, these are the synonyms. Okay, yes, thank you very much. And the last one, if I am late for work again, if I am late for work again, what's the result? If I am late for work again? Yes, D, I will be fired. Yes, I will lose my job. I will be fired. Thank you very much. Thank you for your activity. Yes, we will move on to one more exercise. And in this exercise, your task will be to write your own answers. So please pay attention to the questions that I will be asking and pay attention to the conditional, to the type of conditional sentences you have to write. So write your answers in the chat. Okay, we will wait just a little bit for question to appear. What happens if you eat unhealthy food? What happens if you eat unhealthy food? Try writing a full sentence. So, if I eat unhealthy food, what happens if you eat unhealthy food? I will be glad to see your answers, full sentences in the chat. Try, even if you think that you made a mistake, it's fine. Just try to write. It's always good just to write what you know and I will feel bad. If I eat unhealthy food, I am sick. Okay, Lisa, pay attention that this sentence, and everyone, pay attention that this sentence, this question is in zero conditional. So the answer should be a zero conditional sentence as well. Okay, yes, I will be fat, I will be ill. Yes, so pay attention. Here we have what happens if you eat unhealthy food. It's a general fact. It's some general truth about everyone. Okay, yes, so my stomach aches. Yes, that's a correct one. Okay, Katya says she doesn't eat unhealthy food. Well, Katya, imagine it's not about like you personally, but you as in general, teenagers, for example. Yes. Okay, guys, so I will have to correct you a little bit. So if we have sentence in zero conditional, if we have a question in zero conditional, we also should answer in zero conditional, right? So if I eat unhealthy food, I am sick, for example. Or if I eat unhealthy food, I feel sick. Or if I eat unhealthy food, my stomach aches, or I have a stomach ache. So pay attention that this is a zero type of conditional. Now, let's move to the second question. Yeah, just a moment. We are waiting for it to appear on the screen. What will you do if you have a lot of homework this weekend? So imagine this situation. If you have a lot of homework this weekend, what will you do? And try to answer in this type of conditional. Okay, here we are predicting the situation that will happen in the future. If I have a lot of homework, I will do it. Yes, Yulia. There you go. I will be exhausted, Tanya. Yes, I suppose, yeah, if you have a lot of homework, you will be exhausted. Lisa, if I have a lot of homework this weekend, I will be tired. Yes. I will leave my school. Nazad, don't be so radical. Don't be so radical. Hard work pays off. Okay, if I have a lot of homework, I will study a lot. Yes, guys, you are totally correct here that this is the first type of conditional sentence. And we have to use will plus verb. I will not have free time. Yes, Olympia. I see. Yes, I will be sad and do it. Yes, and I will do it. Okay. If I have a lot of homework this weekend, I will be angry. All right. Yeah, so a lot of emotions, a whole spectrum of emotions. Now let's move on to the next question. What will you do if you forget your phone at home tomorrow? So imagine you go to school, but you find out that you forgot your phone. So what will you do if you forget your phone at home tomorrow? Again, this question should be answered in the same type of conditional that it is. So, what will you do if you forget your phone at home? I will return and take it. Okay, Nastya. I see. I see. I suppose you live not very far from school. I will be frustrated. Yeah, I would be too. If I forget my phone at home tomorrow, I will be very angry, and I will go for him. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you will go back for it, right? You will come back home to take it. Mhm. Okay. I'll ask for a phone from a friend. Hmm. I will return home that day. Okay. If I forget my phone at home, I will go to school. All right. Yeah, and if you're already at school, my mother, uh-huh, my mother will be angry. Then you should use will plus verb, Nazar. Okay, guys, thank you so much for very different answers. Let's move to the last question here. Yeah, don't forget to use will plus verb. Обов'язково після will має бути якесь дієслово. And the last one. What do you do if you feel bored? So pay attention to this question again. What type of conditional it is? So you should answer in the same type of conditional. What do you do if you feel bored? Yeah, so you don't feel like there is something interesting to do. You feel bored. What do you do if you feel bored? It's a general truth, yeah? We are talking about something that is a general fact for you. I will go to bed. Again, guys, pay attention. This is zero conditional type of sentence because we are talking about some general truth. If I feel bored, I study something. Okay, Vika, very useful tip. Teachers never feel bored. Well, I'm not asking about myself. Tell me about you. I will draw something. I imagine something funny. Yes, guys, here we shouldn't use will because it's a zero conditional. It's a general truth, a truth that is always here, right? A truth, a fact that is always true for you. So we should say, when I feel bored, I do sports. When I feel bored, I go for a walk with my friends. When I feel bored, I listen to music. Yes. Okay. If I feel bored, I read a book. Yes, guys. So I hope you understood that there is the difference between zero conditional and first conditional, because zero conditional is a general fact, something that is true always, and the first conditional is a prediction for the future. Okay, guys. Now let's move on to the part which is far more up to date for you, right? Far more um, every day with you, right? Because it's the preparation for ЗНО. So in the chat, just shortly, tell me please, which part of ЗНО is the most difficult to you? Which part of ЗНО is the most difficult to you? So is it reading, listening, writing, or use of English? Which of these four? Listening. Listening. Okay, I see that a lot of people write listening. Okay, yeah, so today we will do some listening. Okay, guys, so right, we will start with some tips for listening. Writing. Okay, well, we won't practice writing today, but we will do it at our course. So, first of all, some general strategy I suggest to all of my students, regardless of the task. So, strategy number one, if either it's listening or writing or use of English or reading, keep calm. Yeah, so try not to panic, try not to be nervous. And if a task seems difficult, go back to strategy number one. Again, try to calm yourself, try to put yourself together, and stay in this state of calmness. Because when you're calm, you are more concentrated, and it is more possible to make tasks correctly, even if you don't know some things. Now, let's move to something more specific. So, listening strategies. Just a moment, we will move to the next slide. Yeah, so listening. First of all, well, I'm pretty sure you understand that you have to train your listening skill every day. You should listen to music, you should watch films, you should watch your favorite TV series, everything in English. You can use some subtitles, but again in English. And that's how you will train your ear to hear English words, to hear English pronunciation and intonation. But when you're at your ЗНО test, first of all, when you're doing listening task, before you listen, please read the task and all questions carefully, because so often students just go through the task, go through the sentences quickly, and they miss some things. They miss some parts of the task, or they miss some words which are important in the questions. That's why before you do anything else, you read the task and all questions carefully. Then, after you've done that, try to predict synonyms you might need, because in the text, in the recording, you will never hear the same words you have in the question. So, for example, if you have the sentence, Bob is interested in football, and you need to do true false task, right? Is it true or is it false that Bob is interested in football? You will never hear this exact sentence in the recording. You will not hear Bob is interested in football. You will hear something like Bob is crazy about different types of sports such as golf, basketball, and football, for instance, right? Or something different. But try to predict some synonyms, some keywords that you might need. And then, of course, be aware of distractors. Distractors – це ті слова, які відволікають вас. All tasks in ЗНО part, in reading and listening, are built in a way that there are some distractions. There are some words, there are some phrases that will make you think like, that's the answer, and it is very easy. But no, if it is too easy, it is probably not the correct answer. So please be aware of those distractors. And of course, look for proof. Proof should be looked for in listening and in reading, because if you can prove that this answer is correct, then you are good to go, right? But if you cannot find the proof, then there is probably something that you might look again. When we are doing our tasks here, especially in listening and especially in reading, I will ask you to look for proofs. Та? Весь час треба буде доводити, чому саме так, чому саме така відповідь, чому правда або чому неправда. Для чого це робиться? Тому що таким чином легше самого себе тренувати, так? І тренувати власне розуміння і аудіозапису, і тексту. That's why we will always look for proof. Okay, guys, so right now we will do a short listening task. This task is a true-false task. First of all, as we've talked about in the strategy, we should read to the task and questions carefully. So listen to the text for statements 7 to 11. Choose T if the statement is true according to the text, or F if it is false. Well, I think that's obvious. Write your answers on the separate sheet of paper because this task was taken from a real ЗНО test. And usually at ЗНО you will listen to the text twice. Here today we will listen to it once for the sake of time economy. So let's move to the sentences at first. So I will read them with you. So in Britain, loud fireworks shows are not allowed next to dwellings. Okay, so we can think of some words, some different phrases which can help us to understand this sentence, to prepare for this sentence in the recording, right? So we may think of some different words for the word dwellings, for example. Dwellings, what are the synonyms of this word? Dwellings. You may write your suggestions in the chat. I will help you as well. So dwellings, what are the synonyms for this word? Maybe something that can help us when we listen to the text. Dwelling. Do you know the meaning of the word dwelling? Okay. Yeah, so I'm waiting for your answers in the chat. If I won't see any answers, I will help you. Don't worry. Okay. So, dwelling. So, dwelling is a place where you live. Yeah, home. Yes, correct, Vlad. Oksana, houses. You're totally correct. So, dwelling, it's a house, it's home, it's an accommodation, it's place where you live, it's a residence. So, all these synonyms might be useful for us when we listen to the text, right? Okay, let's move on to the next sentence. Quiet fireworks displays lack colors compared to traditional shows. Quiet firework displays lack colors. Okay, so if they lack colors, what does it mean? They lack colors. Lack colors. What does it mean if they lack colors? Any suggestions? Yes, Nastya, correct. Your translation is correct. Yeah. So, yeah, so it means there are not enough colors. Yeah, not too many colors. It means that they lack colors. Okay, the next sentence. Quiet fireworks were created for mass celebrations. Yeah, so for big celebrations. Yeah, let's move on to the 10th sentence. Dogs often get lost after big, loud fireworks shows. Yeah, so they get lost, they run away, they disappear. Okay, and the last one. People can enjoy sparkling sky shows in complete silence, so without any noise. Okay, guys, so I hope you are prepared to do our first listening task. I will turn on the recording right now. You will listen to the task and then we will go through all of your answers. You may use some sheet of paper to put your answers so you don't forget them. Okay, I will switch on the recording.
Quiet fireworks. It sounds like a joke. Usually those bright bursts of color come with equally impressive bangs. But some fireworks shows are designed to please the eyes without hitting the ears. In parts of Europe, quiet fireworks displays have grown increasingly common. In Britain, Places close to residents, wildlife, or farm animals may have only quiet fireworks. Designers of quiet fireworks pay greater attention to the rich color effects and visual choreography, making sure their designs are symmetrical and well-timed to music. Quiet fireworks displays can do without big explosions and still present an impressive show. Of course, there are pros and cons to a quiet fireworks show. Because they do not include big aerial explosions, quiet shows cannot entertain a large audience. As a result, traditionally big shows, like those on the 4th of July, would need to be divided into smaller viewings. Quiet fireworks can, however, be more colorful when the most explosive fireworks have only a little color. The real promise behind quiet fireworks, however, is the possibility that they could reduce the harmful effects of traditional fireworks, which include stress on animals and damage to people's hearing. Fireworks can cause birds to panic. Loud fireworks also scare larger mammals like deer out into roads where they can get hit by cars. Pet shelters also claim to take in the most runaway dogs each year on July the 5th. Having sensitive hearing, dogs hurt themselves trying to escape or hide. For people, loud fireworks can lead to hearing loss. Fireworks can be as loud as thunderclaps. Young kids can be frightened by nonstop loud noise, as children are especially sensitive to loud noises. Quiet fireworks are not completely silent, but they don't cause problems to people and surrounding. Loud bangs are not everybody's cup of tea.
Okay, guys, so as you've heard, the text itself, I wouldn't say that it is super difficult. Now let's go through the answers. In the chat, please write the answer to the sentence and try to write the proof. So something that you remembered about the answer. Is it true or false and why? So give me proof. That would be very nice. So the first one, in Britain, loud fireworks shows are not allowed next to dwellings. Is it true or is it false? And why? I'm waiting for your answers, so please don't be shy. Okay, true. Okay, we already have the first answer, true. Okay, true, true. Why? Can you remember why? What was said in the text, in the recording? Yes, Tanya, that's correct. Near residences and farms, they are not allowed. Yes, so this answer is true. You are correct. You're totally right. That's really nice, guys. So, the next one. Quiet firework displays lack colors compared to traditional shows. Is it true or is it false? False. Okay, false. False. Why? Can you give me some proofs for false or for true? What do you remember? Quiet fireworks display lack of colors. Yeah, so, yeah, so the eighth sentence is actually false. It was said that they are very colorful. Yes, Lisa, correct. Thank you very much. They are very colorful. Sonia, here today we won't listen to the text twice just for the sake of time economy, but usually, yes, the texts are listened to twice. Yeah, they still make impressive shows. Okay, the next one. Quiet fireworks were created for mass celebrations. Is it true or is it false? Quiet fireworks were created for mass celebration. Okay, true, true. some false. Okay, can you give me some proofs for true or false? Okay, so this is actually false, because there was said that they are usually can be enjoyed by a small group of people. All right, so it is not created for mass celebration, yeah, because it can be enjoyed by a small group of people. So the next one, dogs often get lost after big, loud fireworks. Fireworks shows. Dogs often get lost after big, loud fireworks shows. Yes, you're totally correct. The 10th one is true. Dogs, like, and other small animals, get scared, get lost, run away. You're totally correct here. And the last one, people can enjoy sparkling sky shows in complete silence, so without any noise at all. Okay, the last one was the answer. Okay, false, false. I can see answers. You're answering that it is false. Yes, you're totally right. You're totally right, because it was said here that still there will be some noise, but not complete silence, of course. Okay, guys. So this was task for listening. Children start to cry. Yeah, and it was also said that it can be quite enjoyable for children and as well as for adults. Yeah, all right, so this was a listening task, and now we will move on to use of English. And at
Quiet
first,
firework.
excuse me, and at first we will look at some strategies on how to deal with use of English. So first of all, use of English, I remind you, this is the task where you read the text and you have some gaps, right? You have to put some words in these gaps, and you usually have 4 variants for each gap. So A, B, C, or D. So first of all, strategy number 1 is to read a text without looking at the answers, and try to predict what words can be in the gaps, again, without looking at the answers. Because in that way, sometimes you may guess the words, and then you may find these words in the answers. And of course, you have to look at the words before and after the gap, because they can help you to understand if it's a noun, if it's a verb, if it's an adjective, right? So they can give you a hint as well. Then you have, only after that, you have to look at the variants from A to D and identify their meanings. Yeah, try to identify their meanings. Try to translate them. Try to think what part of speech it is. Is it a noun? Is it a verb? And so on. And of course, you have to look for grammatically correct forms, because, well, grammatically correct forms, they usually are hinted, та, вони теж підказуються за допомогою отих сусідніх слів, які у нас знаходяться між пропусками. Okay, so now let's take a look at use of English. Here, I suggest we read the text at first without looking at the answers, because that's what we should do. And then we will look for the answers and try to do this task. So I will start reading. I will help you. So, crazy barber shop in Tokyo. If you fancy a new look with a difference this party season, head to Japan, where one hairstylist is offering free cuts providing he can do, he wants with your hair. It is a bold move, but the barber in Tokyo is offering impressive makeovers for those daring enough, the cut. It's the Christmas season, and many of our customers say they want to cheer up their parties or make themselves out from the world. While being can be fun, it might not be so great if you get fired, as many companies in Japan have rules regulating certain hairstyles. Okay, maybe you already have some guesses what words should be used in every gap. Now, let's take a look at the answers. Well, we have a table. Here we have A, B, C, and D. So let's take a look again at the gap number 54. If you fancy a new look with a difference this party season, what is suitable here? What should be put in the gap? So let's take a look at the variants. Get, getting, to be getting, or to get. Okay, yes, Tanya, thank you very much for your variant for 55. Yeah, but let's move on to move back to 54 at first. Okay, what are your answers? 54. Okay, yeah, so I see some correct answers already. Yeah. Okay, so the answer is actually getting, because after the verb fancy, it's a synonym to would like. Yeah, so if you would like, after this fancy, we should use gerund. Gerund, я вам нагадую, це герундій. Це слово із закінченням ing. So we should use getting here in this answer. Then let's move on to gap number 55. So one hairstylist is offering free cuts providing he could do he wants to your hair. What's the answer? So, yeah, some of you already gave some answers to that before. Yeah, he can do. He wants to your hair. What's the answer? Okay. Yeah, I see. So Tanya gave a correct answer before. Lisa gave a correct answer. Yeah, Oksana. So, yes, the correct answer here is whatever. Будь-що. Yeah, so he can do whatever he wants with your hair. This is an indefinite pronoun. We will talk about them later at the course. Yeah, so here we have to put whatever. Now let's move on to gap number 56. So it is a bold move, but the barber in Tokyo is offering impressive makeovers for those daring enough, the cut. Daring enough, the cut. So what should we put? Have taken, taken, to take, or being taken. Окей, Андріана, так, трансляція зберігається, я дам відповідь замість наших модераторів. Звісно, трансляція зберігається, можна подивитися пізніше, передивитися ще раз усі завдання, записи переслухати. Cheer up, like don't get sad, like everything will be okay, cheer up. To take, okay, yeah, so number 56, the answer is to take. I can see that it is kind of difficult, probably. Yeah, so daring enough to take the cut. Those daring enough to take the cut. After daring enough, we should use to plus infinitive. So, daring enough to take the cut. All right, now number 57. Let's take a look at number 57. It is the Christmas season and many of our customers say they want to cheer up their parties or make themselves out from the crowd. Make themselves out of the crowd. What is missing? Make themselves out of the crowd, out from the crowd. Stand, standing, to stand, and stood. Okay, so please don't be shy. Write your answers in the chat. Even if you make some mistake, it's totally fine. We are learning here. That's a correct thing to do, to make mistakes while learning. Okay, so Lisa suggests that we should use to stand. Stand, see. Okay, yes, so actually the answer will be A. Make somebody do something. To make themselves stand out from the crowd. Коли ми змушуємо когось щось зробити, we shouldn't use particle to. So make themselves stand out from the crowd without particle to. Okay, and the last one. While being can be fun. While being. Difference, differently, differ, or different. Okay, so what's the answer? While being. Difference, differently, differ, or different. Yeah, so here we have different forms, different parts of speech of the same word, right? So here we have a difference, which is a noun, differently, which is an adverb, differ, which is a verb, and different, which is an adjective. Yeah, so the answer is actually D, different. While being different can be fun. It means хоча бути іншим або відрізнятись. So while being different, хоча бути іншим може бути весело. Well, it might end up in losing your job. So here an adjective should be used. While being different can be fun. Okay, guys. So as I can see, we are finished with our ЗНО task today. Please don't leave the lesson just for 5 more minutes. We will talk about the most important part, about the details of our course. But first of all, I will ask you to rate the difficulty of this lesson, of today's lesson, from 1, which is very easy, to 5, very difficult. So how was this lesson to you? Was it very easy? It's 1, or was it very difficult? It's 5, or somewhere in between? Just write the number in the chat. Okay, yeah, so people find this lesson pretty easy. That's nice to hear. Okay. All right. Yeah, 4, 3, 2, 5, 1.5. All right, guys. Thank you for your answers. Thank you for your honest answers. Well, at the end of this lesson, before we talk about the details of the course, I want to tell you that there is this phrase, which is very suitable for your ЗНО exam and for any work you do. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So let's start being great and let's getting great with our course. And I hope that you will get fantastic results. Okay, guys. Зараз я перейду на українську, трошки вам поясню загалом про курс. І, звісно, ви можете задавати свої запитання у чаті, поки я розповідаю, або після того, як я розповім. Отже, запрошуємо вас на курс підготовки до ЗНО з англійської для 10-11 класів. Ми починаємо з вами цей курс 15 вересня о 17:00, але взагалі розклад буде наступним. Це уроки щосереди о 17 та щосуботи о 10 ранку. Взагалі курс підготовки до ЗНО розрахований на весь навчальний рік. І в нас група вже майже сформована, тому у вас ще є шанс для того, щоб потрапити на цей курс. Перших 16 занять, звісно, вони ж всі будуть відбуватися онлайн, у невеликих групах. Це 90 хвилин роботи, тут у нас було 60 хвилин, а це ще більше часу. 90 хвилин активної роботи, невеличкі перерви для того, щоб ви могли перепочити і з новими силами виконувати нові завдання. Звісно, у вас будуть домашні завдання. Навіть після цього уроку для тих, хто реєструється на курс, буде одне невеличке вже завдання, за допомогою якого ви зможете перевірити своє розуміння теми Zero and First Conditional. А взагалі практичні домашні завдання, вони у вас будуть різного характеру. Інколи будуть тести, а інколи буде щось складніше. Також ми будемо з вами практикувати письмо, тому що це дуже важливо для ЗНО. Крім того, всі відеозаписи уроків, якщо ви раптом пропустили якесь заняття чи прослухали не повністю, всі ці записи можна буде завантажити собі на комп'ютер, вони будуть для вас у відкритому доступі. З вами будуть працювати куратор, я також буду працювати між самими заняттями. І вартість перших 16 таких уроків буде 3800 гривень, але це за умови, якщо ви реєструєтесь на курс сьогодні. Завтра вже ця ціна зміниться на 4000, тому поспішайте забронювати собі місце для того, щоб покращити свої знання з англійської і взагалі підготуватися до ЗНО. Якщо у вас є якісь запитання, будь ласка, можете зараз мені писати їх у чат стосовно уроку або стосовно нашого курсу. Я буду рада відповісти на них. Якщо ж запитань немає, то я думаю, що, в принципі, ви можете відпочивати, займатися своїми справами або далі продовжувати вчити англійську, готуватися до початку нашого з вами курсу, реєструватися. Ось. Якщо ж немає запитань, тоді thank you for the lesson and I hope to see you at our first lesson next Wednesday. So see you. Thank you for being active today. That was really nice to work with a very active audience, with people who know what to answer and what to write. Yes, thank you. Thank you and goodbye. Have a nice evening.